misrepresented to the consumer. Right. And it rips consumers off, it undermines seafood businesses and fishermen that are playing by the rules and can impact the oceans as well.
And they could also claim that it's the local catch because people love that, and it's not.
Exactly. In this study, we looked at local favorites specifically and found that often they were swapped out for imported or sometimes farm-raised seafood.
I was also surprised when I was reading the report that 90% of the seafood that is eaten in the U.S. is imported. And, only or less than 1% is actually inspected by the government. So where do things stand and what needs to be done government-wise to help with this problem?
There's a really long and complex seafood supply chain, and so the government has taken first steps to address this problem. They have a program in place that tracks and requires documentation for some imported seafood, but clearly from our study, it's not enough. More needs to be done. We need to be requiring traceability, so tracking that fish from the fishing boat all the way to the dinner plate for all seafood sold in the U.S., and then give consumers more information about that fish so they can make informed decisions.
So again, 40% misrepresented in the D.C. area and on the Eastern Shore, Delmarva?
30%.
30%. So it's a real problem here. Thank you so much for giving us the oversight of what's going on, and she's talked about what the government can do, but you're probably sitting at home right now going, oh my gosh, what can I do as a consumer? I can't wait for the government to jump in. How do I know what I'm ordering or what I'm buying is really what it is? So we have two people that are in the fish industry here. This is Danny Greenbaum. He's a fishmonger at the market at Ivy City, and then John Rohrpau is the Sustainable Director for ProFish. Thank you both for coming in. So first and foremost, other than just we want to be getting what we think we're getting, why is this such a big deal? I mean, is it a health risk?
It could be. I mean, there are fish that are high in mercury or have health risks that are lower in price that could be duping people, especially when you talk about money differences. I mean, there's tons of fish that are half the price that look very, very similar, especially once you fillet the fish. We brought a couple of examples that kind of show the differences. This is a Corvina, which is often replaced for grouper. So this is a domestic, sustainably harvested black grouper. And this is a South American Corvina that we're really not sure how it was harvested. We don't have the same information because that traceable track that they were talking about, that Beth was talking about, it's not the same in South America.
Is it just the fact that they either can't get the fish that they want and the public wants it, or it's cheaper for them to get the alternative than the real deal?
A lot of times imported fish can be cheaper, and they look almost identical. So it comes down to the integrity of the market that you're going to and the practices they have maintaining that.
As the consumer, what are the questions that I need to ask?
I think, first of all, you come in and you ask if it's domestic. I think you want to first side on the domestic side because NOAA does a great job of policing that sustainable fisheries. And then you want to ask if it's sustainable. You want to see some kind of, this is a salmon that is ASC certified. You want to be able to ask those questions and make sure it's a certified fish. These all have little traceable methods. This has a tag on it that actually you can put that number in, go to their website and see the fisherman, where it was caught, so you can see all the way the bait to plate that they're speaking of.
So this is the snapper, right?
So this is a true red snapper.
Right.
This is a lane snapper that's imported.
So it is a snapper, and it is red in color, but it's technically not a red snapper.
This one can be called a red snapper. This one has to be called a lane snapper.
It's so amazing because, I have been down in, Panama City Beach, Florida, and you see the boats of the red snappers just, I guess I think that they're red snapper, that are coming in, and yet Florida, you also think, oh, I'm in Florida, this is going to be the freshest, best seafood, I can get, and yet it's a problem there as well.
It definitely is. We put in place, ProFish did, a system called the Fish Print. So we take it all the way from whoever caught it. We put that information on our invoices and on our website. And then Ivy City Smokehouse is our partner market. So people can come to our wholesale to the public and know that they're buying things sustainably, harvested properly.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Do they taste the same?
If you had your eyes closed, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
So you're not, okay. So really, it's just a matter of that we're being duped. Right, that we're being duped. There is a possible health risk. And then one of the other big tips that I read is that if you're getting this really good, cheap deal on seafood, probably not.
Question it, for sure.
Question it. And then also, real quickly, if you are buying from a grocery store or from a fish market, it's better to buy a whole fish.
It is better to buy the whole fish, have them cut it for you in front of you. So try to find a fishmonger or a market that does that for you.
Really appreciate it, y'all. Thank you so much. Plus, it's giving you guys a bad name, and you guys are like the real deal, right?
Try to do the right thing.
Morning when we come back. Don't go anywhere.